Okay. Now, today we'll be talking about word association test. This word association test was started by Jung. He is the person who developed this technique. He designed what he had developed 100 words, and this is the list of those first 100 words that he had designed. What he used to do, he used to give these words to a patient, and he used to note their response. And response was, if any word is given, and he expected a word in response to that. And depending upon the response, that he used to analyze what is the problem that he's facing. These words, he had 50 nouns, 25 verbs, and 25 adverbs. So adverb or adjective. And all these particular things used to repeat it in a 4-word of pattern: noun, adjective, noun again, and verb. So these are every 4. So every word was selected that way. So in a sequence, similarly in SSB, what we are giving the same, we expect your response into four factors. Factor 1, 2, 3, 4. And every time, 5th word will again be factor 1. So every factor is going to come at least 15 times. At least 15 times. Exactly the same way what they are. Only difference between Jung's WAT and SSV is there he expected only a word in response. Here we expect you to write your first thought and idea that comes to your mind by looking at the word. There's only one difference. There is no other difference between the two. Okay. After that, what is there now? Since it's like a projective technique by itself, is it? Just now we had talked about projective technique when we were discussing TAT. What is projective technique? He said this is a variety of, in this case, I'll just try and say, and he expanded this. Holmes expanded the subdivided into major dimension of projected. He said, what is projected? Projected on whom? On the hero that you made it, or the words or sentence that you make it. You can project only 2 things: your own traits, or a trait which is not you, different from you. You are trying to copy someone else. Since you want to pass examination, rather than being original, your own ideas and changing your personality, what you are trying to do now, you are trying to copy someone else. As a result now, so they can be, when the response that you are giving it, are you aware of whether individual aware of possessing the trait or not? You got 2, so you got 4 criteria. One is you are projecting your own traits, or you are projecting traits which are different from you. Secondly, are you aware that these traits you have got it or not aware of it? So when you make a projection like this, so why make it aware, not aware, one's own trait, and trait different from it. So now if it's my own trait and I'm aware with, there is similarity between the two. So the projection is similar to you. This is the ideal situation when you project. This is the place where the passing is going to be maximum. Correct. Because you know what you're projecting, and you know you have projected this quality. That's the reason I say you must try and clean up your personality with the strongest detergent that you can ever find. Until as you clean yourself, what you have to copy, you have to emulating it somewhere. That's not possible. Secondly, trait different from you, you are not aware, but you are aware it is different. So it's complementary. You are trying to correct myself. Thirdly, I know about what is my trait, but I'm not aware of it. That's called attribution, and that's called Panglossian cassastrum. Now, what is the 4 categories? This is how 4 categories come back. What is this? What is Cassandrum? Cassandrum is a German prophet who foretold but did not believe. He said, you are trying to project your personality, but you don't believe in it is my personality. The whole thing is gone for 6, isn't it? So fundamentally, we must know what is the trait I have got it. Secondly, I must try and project the trait that I have got it. So the 2 points, if you can do these 2 things by cleaning your personality, you are on the right track. You're on the, this is same thing applicable even the TAT, even the applicable in TAT. Okay. So now, so this was earlier to start what a Gallatin. Gallatin was the first introduced in 1879, and this was again developed by Carl Jung. Okay. What he believed, he is the base that your subconscious is sometimes capable of controlling the conscious will. So you are trying to do something unconscious, subconsciously. You've got no full control over it. That's why. And as such, single word can unleash past traumas or reveal unresolved internal conflicts. That's the reason the words are selected are supposed to psychological words. They give you words like death. They give you like sex. They use a word like romance. All these particulars supposed to check back. Did you face such situation earlier or not? And if you have faced such situation, what was your type of reaction? So here aim is to extricate what you are in. How did you behave earlier? So it's in any time when word is shown, it goes back into your mind, your back references, and correlates with correlates with with your own experience of the past, and then same comes out as a form of response. In as late, though it is being so as late as 2013, Leon, when he used magnetic resonance technique and showed that the words from Jung word association test generated were revealing neurological responses in people. He said, no, mirror neurons. What is that? When you look at the person, Sandeep looks up to Saurabh, somehow or the other, there is certain amount of commonality between the two, if you like it, or the uncommonality. So these are neurons that replicate. So you people become a good friend, a better friend around there. So mirror neurons were activated when people heard words such as father, family, abuse, fear, child, etc. And there's also same brain activity in a brain which you call the emotional area. They call amygdala and insula is a part of a brain. So a part of brain and hippocampus and others. The results were very striking in people with post-traumatic stress. So those people who have faced the traumatic stress, they would reveal those particular scene in some form or the other when they are giving out the sentence or giving the words. All this evidence shows that the words evoke emotion, memories, and thoughts we often tend to ignore. So now, that's the reason it is at a subconscious level. It is subconscious level. Okay, that is the case now. Now, word association evaluates the personality and cognitive ability. The test requires the attendee to write down the first thought that comes to them in the form of a word in case of Jung, but in case of SSV, you have to express the first thought that comes in the form of a sentence. When I talk a sentence will have to be complete sentence. Okay. This may be answered in full statement, phrase, or combination. According to candidate's cognitive abilities, each word intervality can be interpreted as noun, verb, adverb, adjective, depends upon how the things are there. So it can support, they can negative words like cheat, noise, terror, distress, evil, etc. All these things can come. They are the negative things. And if you have been party to it, or if you have experienced something earlier, probably you will respond accordingly. Neutral words can help house, proposal, father, mother, child, there also will come back. So that will indicate how well learners, especially father, what is the level of association or affiliation with your parents and the people around there. Then the kind of positive was loyalty, loyal, great, attractive, funny, ambitious, they are all other kind of types. So there are the 3 types of what generally comes into play. Okay. So now we'll come back to this later on. What is this? Now he classified Jung classification with this. So because the word you are being shown to you, there's certain amount of disturbances comes out from the mind. Now, if any word comes to you, you take a long time. Your time given in SSV only 15 seconds. And within 15 seconds, you look at the word, you have to write a sentence also. But if you take longer, what will happen? You will miss out certain words, certain sentences. Secondly, you are still thinking about the previous word, and new word has already come. So time for thinking for the new word has already gone. So you have to cut off from the first and go to the second. That technique, if you don't learn it, you cannot afford to do well. Okay. Incorrect reproduction. Second, perseverance, continued prolonged reaction time or response which relates to the preceding stimuli. We are still in the persistent in the previous word, and you are trying to write the next word. Failure, unable to produce any reaction, you think, no, I can't do. You get blocked. That's a failure is blocked. You know it's going to be wrong, so you don't do anything. Repetition of a stimulus word. You see, if I say love is good. So you repeat the same word. I define the same word. You're trying to define the word. Okay. Misunderstanding the stimulus word, maybe because of lack of knowledge or our language, or at times it's because of some problem in our personality. Mimicry or pantomime. So there is gesticulation accompanying the response. Interjection and exclaim, oh, what a great idea. Love is great. You trying to explain. That is what is there. Then stuttering and stammering. Stuttering and stammering never comes to because we don't. Yeah. These things, 9 and 10, it never comes because it is in written form. We don't face to face see the candidate. Okay, next. Next, meaningless reaction. No apparent connection between the stimulus word and the reaction possible. So you're unrelated. Your response is unrelated to the word. You have to relate it to the word. Sound, clang, rhymes, alienation, that comes. Then mediate reaction. Immediate reaction is suppressed and replaced. Immediate reaction. You tell me, my thought is wrong. I'll try and do something else. I'm trying to cover it. You are trying to cover it up. Your originality is missing. Multi-word reactions. Reactions in foreign language. That is okay. And a stereotype is a perception, is a repetition of the earlier reaction. So this is the type of problem comes into play. Okay. Now it's how are the type because association is this when I say some word it comes to you, how do we associate? How the word comes to mind? As a science of association, first is called internal association and second is called external association. Internal association are based on similarity of content between stimulus and reaction. Now, similarity between this has got two important. They're called coordinate and predicates. Coordination and predicates. So when a cat is given to you, you know its cat is animal. It's a lake. Is a depth. It's a very deep lake that comes. So deep lake is very deep. So simple. It can good will come back to bad. Good, bad. So that's automatically comes to my mind. So that's one way of association. Depending upon how we have trained our mind, this association will come back to us. Right? Second is called predicate. Mother is good. Value judgment. Mother is good. And if you had a bad experience, mother is bad. So depending on what, that's exactly I have always been telling whatever good or bad experience are there in life, try and rewrite those stories. These are real stories. Convert negativity to the positivity. That's where the narrative identity comes to play. Other predicates. Snake is always poisonous. Definitely ink, fluid. So they are called predicates. That's it. Second is external association. Coexistence. Ink, when you say ink and pen coexist. Without ink, pen cannot work, isn't it? That's coexistence. Identity. This is different from definition that the former are multiple word reaction and identities are single word responses. Expensive is costly. You are trying to identical. Expensive is costly. So you are trying to same. Is it? It's the same meaning. You are trying to define the word. Define the word. Then there's a form of what you call linguistic matter forms, needle holder, hanger sufferer. So all this is how since English is none of our original. Language 1. English is language 2. Our mother language is Kannada, Hindi. What is this mother language? English, I have learned it in the process of my schooling, another aspect. So the mastery, whatever I try and do, mastery of L2 cannot be equal to L1. Cannot be L1. I can express my thought better in my L1 rather than language to L2. Then it's called word completion, sound. Word is wonderful comes to humility. So you are trying to rhyming. You are trying to rhyme it because sound is there. So I say it's a normal tendency in us to come back from there. Next is misreaction, failure, indirect association, repentance, black, mourning, meaningless reaction. We already talked about simple repetition of the stimulus word, lake, and all. So the perseverance is the next. So this is what is goes on. And worst thing which ever happened in the words which are given, almost with the similar meaning of some different format, you'll find same word coming to you at least twice or thrice in at least few of the words, not all, at least few of the words will come in some form in 60. Why? They just want to argue the response that you gave in the first time. Is it consistent with the response that you give later or not? So you ought to be cautious. You cannot contradict what is given in, say, response 1, and you come back with, which may come back to response 15th or 20th, and you give the different. So it means there's a contradiction in your personality. Is it or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, so what is there? What in as far as the briefing in SSB is concerned, in this test you will show a number of words displayed on the screen one after another. You are free to give your thought which are different from one another. So never try and copy. You have to train your mind. I never tell a person to write this sentence or write this story. I always say that you have to train your mind to think differently. Okay. What you are required to do is to express the first thought and ideas for the idea that comes to your mind on seeing the word in the form of a sentence. So you have to make a complete sentence. Next, you may or may not use a word shown to express your thought and ideas. You will show 60 such words one after another. Each word will show 15 to you. You are required to write down your ideas or thoughts during 15 seconds in the appropriate place provided for. So if you have written one word, you get marking on the dossier. You will only find 1, 2, 3 written. You must write at that place only. If you do it, then only to understand. If you missed out, don't worry. Go to the next one, but write it the appropriate place only. That is what is expected. Okay. Next, you will record the thought or idea appropriate place for each word in the answer sheet. In case the thought comes to your mind on seeing a word, or leave the blanks to facilitate. So this is how the briefing goes on to SSB. As I have already said, WAT is another test of imagination as per services SSB is concerned. 60 words are shown sequentially one after another for 15 seconds. Candidate is expected to express first idea or thought to come to mind by looking at the word. He may or may not use the word. From unconscious level at TAT, candidate is brought to the subconscious level. In this test is held in continuation with TAT, hence there's a pressure of fatigue. We have already sit down, given examination for 1 hour, and you must sit in the hall for another hour. So there is a 2 hours of the fatigue takes its own toll, and time takes its toll. So WAT is a factor confirmed to test until unless you do well in TAT. You cannot afford to think of passing if you do not do well in TAT, and then you think by doing WAT, I will be able to do that. No, impossible. Candidate must answer all. Few blanks due to problem of meaning may be acceptable. More blanks to pointed words are negative. Suppose many times anything which hits you, you try and avoid that. You try and avoid that word. All words are arranged to solicit response to 4 broad categories, I have already said, and OLQ. So every time, every word, that is factor 1, 2, 3, 4 will come at least 15 times. At least 15 times. Out of 15, Aim is every sentence should be used as a resource to bring out your qualities, 15 qualities. So it means all my 15 qualities, at least a group of 4 should come at least 8 to 15 times. That is what is there. You may not, all sentence may not be, it may not be possible, but at least bulk of my response should be able to point towards my traits, which are divided into 4 categories itself. Okay. Now next.
Yes, sir.
Don't leave any blank. It means either you're trying to avoid, or because of you didn't have time. So that's again depends upon each response of each person will be different. When you write incomplete, what is it? You started writing it, suddenly you find I'm wrong. So you're trying to avoid that. Third is factual. Sun rises in this, grass is green. It does not offer any advantage to you. Does it offer any advantage? It doesn't offer any advantage to you. It is factual, it is known, existing. Honesty is the best policy. Work is worship. People talk about it and they are I say honesty, they are the most dishonest person on the earth. People who work is worship, they may not be working at all. They will be trying to shirk their responsibility everywhere. Okay, so that's how so you must avoid this. Next is injunction and authorization. Obey your parents. That they are the people who probably, 80-90% that they will never obey their parents. It comes. The people of the world must unite. You can't afford to unite with your own friends only, and you are talking uniting the world. Don't tell lies. Greatest liar of the earth. So now next comes I, me, he, we, and all. This is a personal thing. I'm good. Your self-praise doesn't help. So what is really there? You must write only observational type sentences. There are chances, about 90% chances are there. Even if you've got weekend, if you train yourself, you can afford to give very good response in a matter of few days. And this is the easiest thing to learn, and it also has implication in changing your personality. Changing your personality. So do consider writing only observational type of sentences. Now you may question back, why? The first we said command, injunction, why should you do it? They are the negative don'ts. They tell the character there is something wrong with them and that they are not allowed to do or do something else. These messages are intentionally given. Don't work. You are not good. They are delivered in several ways through behavior cues and absorbed into subconscious. Now, simple thing now, there was accident has taken place and his parents are saying Ram was killed in an accident. Ideally should have been Ram died in a car crash driven by Shyam. That should have been, that is the way of writing across. So the way we write that indicates, you may not be meaning it, but it is implied is what is an assessor will read what you write. And he will interpret what he reads. So unless you make a concerted effort to change your thought and ideas and change yourself, these things will keep on coming every time, in spite of the fact you are consciously trying to write good things, but unconsciously you are violating the same rules. Okay. Next is injunction. I say no, don't cry. What does it mean? Emotions are shameful. Keep them to yourself. Don't think. It means what? Your opinions aren't worth much. Your boys do not like smart girls. So what was there? Don't be you. Why can't you be more like a good person? That is what it means. So all these injunctions, that's the reason you should never try and write words which are command or injunctions. Okay, next. Why shouldn't you write should statement as a should, could, will, shall? No sentences should be made like this. You are attached to a certain outcome expectation about how things should be. But should statement involves Thinking about things that you think you should or must, but have you done it? No. You should have done it. I will work. Have you worked? No. You're still contemplating of doing it. So these types of statements can make you feel worried or anxious. They can also cause you to experience guilt or sense of failure because I should have worked. You have failed in an exam and say, I should have worked earlier, hard. Why didn't you work? So this guilt feeling has come into play. No, so because you always think you should be doing something, you end up feeling as if you are constantly failing. Now, example, Rita thinks she should be able to play a song on a violin without making any mistake. Now, this is a statement she is, when she does make mistake, she feels angry and upset with herself. As a result, she starts to avoid practicing her violin. Should be doing something better with my time right now, so that you are trying to avoid it. So focus on practicing and self-compassion. Replace these statements with more realistic ones. Okay, that's how the system should be working across. Okay, we have already talked about what we talked about. Perseveration is the word we say. You find same type of thought coming to out of 60 words. You'll find many people have got tendency to write the same thing. Just say soldiers are good, soldiers are brave, soldiers are this. Good people should work hard. Good people are nice. Good people do service to people. So that the repetition of same word, it may be because of lack of knowledge, lack of control on English, or because of certain psychological problem. So it's a perseveration is the word, repeating the same reaction on most or all stimulus words. Many people do it around there. Avoid that. Reacting to stimulus word with a word appropriate to the previous stimuli. Again, there's a perceive, already talked about it. React to a stimulus word with a word appropriate to the previous section that we are, okay. So that's how. Secondly, we already talked in a different way. This is, I'm trying to talk about, is a blocking, object naming, repetition of partial repetition, definition of attempted word, pose reaction, self-reference, perseveration, clang, phrase reaction, attributes, multi-dictionary. So they are the different type of reaction that comes into play. Okay. Any doubt as far as W8 is concerned, then we'll try and talk further. Any one of you? Any question?
No, sir.
Was it clear? How to know? This is the total three. I have tried to cover up as much details as possible. As far as W8 is concerned, there can't be more talking about the W8. So think is very simple. Change your mindset. Think positively. Try and make observation type sentences. I can assure you, you can do really well in W8 within a matter of 10 to 15 days. If you just practice across. Think hard. Force your mind to think rightly. And this will change your personality also. The time you start thinking positively in all direction, or say making observational type of sentences, observation comes from where? What you're looking in the world around. As a result, now your personality itself will change. Okay? Any doubt?